Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Comic Hall. Happy birthday to you. Hello, this is Dylan Lang, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall, my semi-weekly show where I detail all the comics that I got this week. These are all books that came out this week. In some cases, if I mention that I might have bought one from came out last week, I'll mention it. In fact, this week I actually have a book that came out last week that I bought this week to show you guys. But today's a very special episode. I didn't know it was going to last this long. My first foray into the Comic Hall, which was a few years ago, lasted only half a year, 6 months, 26 weeks, in fact, which is half a year. And then I stopped. And then after that, I stopped collecting comics for about 9 months. And then I got back into it when they announced DC's Rebirth. And I started doing the Comic Hall again the week before DC's Rebirth hit its 1 year. The funny thing is, and I did not know this until I looked at Facebook today on my phone. Actually, I think I'm gonna retweet something while I'm talking. That Facebook does this on this day thing where they show you all the stuff that you did on Facebook from last year and previous years and stuff like that. They highlight a bunch of them. I discovered a tweet I said saying after 19 months, the long-awaited return of the Comic Hall. And it was on May 19th, which was a Wednesday, I guess, last year. Or it might have been Thursday. I don't remember. Could have been Thursday since today's Friday. But because of leap year, who knows? Last year. But it is my 1 year. Exactly. Today's May 19th. On this day last year, May 19th of 2016, my first episode of the new Comic Hall started. And it has lasted a full year. I've done every week, including Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all the other big holidays, 4th of July. I've done Comic Halls for those weeks. I bought comics for an entire year, which is surprising me because usually I go through these spurts where I buy for like 6 months, then I'm off for 9 months, then buy another 6 months, 9 months, so on and so forth. So I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to drink from my wife's Zatanna glass, which I got for her for Mother's Day. Hasn't been cleaned yet, but you know what? I need some water in my system, and that's a damn fine piece of artwork and piece of, and my wife likes Zatanna anyway. I got my collections of some of my superhero Funko Pops and my wife's Baby Groot figure as well. It's not really baby, I guess, from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So I'm doing it up here because my wife is away right now, and I'll probably go back to my basement next week because I don't want to disturb her when I usually do the show, but she's not here, and my kids are sleeping, hopefully. I just recorded an episode of Dylan Knows earlier, and my son came down in the middle of a thunderstorm, so he was down here for a while, and you see me talking to him a lot, but he's back to sleep, I think, so we're in good shape, I think. So, but we're not here to talk about that. This is my 1 year anniversary of the Comic Hall. I survived a full year, and I hope to continue on to year 2 now and keep going with it because I love comics, and I am going to cut down, and I was going to start cutting down this week, but as you can see, I didn't. There were a bunch of books that I was so close to cutting down on, and there's a bunch of books also that it's like, you know what, they're limited series and they're going to be done, so we'll be talking about all those together. So to begin with, as always, is DC. And I'm trying for this sort of to make it a little easier to see the pictures. This is The Flash, number 22, which is the end of the Button storyline. Looks like it's the return of Jay Garrick Flash, which could be the return of the Justice Society. It's written by Joshua Williams and art by Howard Porter. So again, the Button is setting up the fight between the Watchmen and the DC Universe people. And so we could see a little bit of time travel, and we see Jay Garrick is back, but there's a twist. So something happens down the line, and uh-oh. That's it for Jay Garrick, so we'll see what happens. So this is the end of the story, and then it led to an epilogue, which Jeff Johns announced that he will be doing a Doomsday Clock miniseries right here in November, which is going to follow up with this stuff. And there's a quick little epilogue which details how close it is to the Watchmen and DC. So we'll see what happens. So definitely a book you want to pick up is Flash number 22, finish up the button. You should have gotten the other 3 issues as well. So it's good on that. Next up is Batman number 22, where he actually is crossed over with Swamp Thing. And it's written by Tom King with art by Mitch Gerads. Now, what's interesting about that is Tom King and Mitch Gerads announced this week that they'll be doing a Mr. Miracle book, and I am so excited because I love that character and have these two together. And from what I've seen, I think Tom King absolutely loves the character as well. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. It's not till July, so I got a little ways to go, but July will be here before you know it. So Batman's been an extremely well done book. As I've told you before, I've not been a big fan of Scott Snyder's take on it, but I like Tom King's version. And also, we're getting more of these. I talked about these earlier. The DC Looney Tunes crossovers are coming again in June, so we'll be seeing those again. That also means it's going to be a lot more money down the drain. But it's June. I'll be getting my raise, and I'll be getting my bonus, so I'll be able to cover some stuff here. Next up is another really good book. It's Superman number 23. That was Batman 23, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, Batman 23. This is Superman number 23. Superman has been very extraordinary. It's continuing the Black Dawn storyline written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, with art by Doug Mahnke in this issue. Continuing the supernatural goings-on that are happening in the farm community where Superman, Lois, and Jonathan have been living. So good artwork, good story, and a surprise villain at the end of this issue. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Jonathan, he and Damian Wayne are becoming quite the team in Super Sons number 4. This one's written by Peter Tomasi with art by Jorge Jimenez. And it's going to be, a really interesting look at the world's finest. Have, Robin and Superboy working together and starting a friendship that is going to last. And the two of them play off each other so well. Jonathan doesn't take Damian's crap, and Damian respects Jonathan for that. So gotta love that. So I think this might be the end of the storyline. Yeah, it looks like the end of the story, the first story. So good series, a lot of fun. Pick it up. Teen Titans number 8, continuing the Lazarus crossover between Teen Titans, and Deathstroke. This is part of the connecting cover from Titans last week. This issue is written by everybody and drawn by everybody. It's one big storyline. Let's see if I can find the actual cast list. Where are you? Not cast list, the actual creative list. I mean, what is it up with? Why don't you do creative list? There we go. It's in the middle of the book, for crying out loud. Written by Priest, Benjamin Piercy, and Dan Abnett. Benjamin Piercy did the script for this one. Phil Hester did breakdowns. Quo Pham did the pencils, and Wade Van Grawbander did inks for this issue of Teen Titans. This has the Titans meeting up with the Teen Titans, and all hilarity ensues. And it'll be crossover into Deathstroke. And I think out of this, we're going to get a new Deathstroke team. We've seen the cover for it, and it should be interesting. Really considering who some of the cast members are on that. Speaking of the Flash, or Wally West Flash, I was going to drop Nightwing, again, as I always say I am. And then, of course, they keep bringing this up. This is I guess, a one-shot of Wally and Dick having a buddy's day out. It's written by, it's not even written by the regular character, written by Michael McMillian with art by Christian Deuce. So it must be just one shot to give the creative team a breather so they can get set up for the next big storyline. But it's, it examines the friendship between Wally and Dick, considering Wally just came back to the world and Dick forgot all about him. But that's the reason why I got it, because it's a one shot that's probably going to be very well received and a very good character study. And I guess Nightwing gets one more issue out of me, and we'll see what happens next week, or in 2 weeks when the new issue comes out. Will I buy it? Will I not? Find out in 2 weeks on the new episode of the Comic Call. In 2 weeks, I'll have one next week, but then Nightwing will be in 2 weeks. Batwoman number 3, Marguerite Bennett, James Tynion IV, Steve Epting. Batwoman, can't go wrong with that. Fantastic series. Marguerite Bennett's a good writer. Steve Epting is a fantastic artist. He hasn't drawn a mainstream Marvel or DC comic in a while until this one. He had been doing his own series for Image, but it's good to have him back and to have Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion teaming up on writing Batwoman, who is great. If Greg Rucka can't do it, you get those two to do it. It's fantastic. Again, I was going to not get Harley Quinn, but just something about Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connors keep bringing me back. And then with Frank Cho covers, we have Harley Quinn number 20. So we've got Frank Cho's cover here and Harley Quinn number 20. Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, John Timms, and Joseph Michael Linsner doing the art. It's always good to see Joseph Michael Linsner do some art. So this is Bruce Timm artwork. And here's some Joseph Michael Linsner, very distinct creative. It's Palmiotti and Connor, which keeps bringing these, yummy, keeps bringing these characters back to me. And why I keep wanting to buy this. And then, on top of that, Paul Dini and Brett Blevins and Jimmy Palmiotti and Jay Bone have still doing the backup Harley and Joker, because Paul Dini created Harley Quinn. And they're doing it in the style of the Batman animated series. So we'll see. Harley's probably not going to be going anywhere anytime soon until Jimmy and Amanda get off it. And that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. I love this cover. I love this book. It's Green Lanterns number 23. All the Green Lantern Corps facing off against the regular Green Lanterns. Sam Humphries writer, Eduardo Pansica pencils, Julio Ferreira inks, continuing their experiences with the Green Lantern Corps. Probably get them back to Earth soon enough, and the other storylines are going through here and will be solved eventually. So it's good to see these. The Green Lanterns is actually one of the better books out there, and it's fun to see these characters, and hopefully it'll continue to be great. Ooh. Yeah, Guy Gardner getting punched out. Sweet. Always love that. Even though Guy Gardner's from Baltimore. And he's very proud of that. This book I was going to quit, but I just can't quit it. Trinity number 9. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman together. Lost in Space, a new storyline. They're in outer space together. Francis Manapul is coming back to do the storyline. The Justice League makes a quick appearance, but it's Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman trying to reconnect and have them working together against the Justice League is such a good idea. And so I might have to begrudgingly continue with Trinity just because they pull me back in. Same with Justice League. I wasn't going to get Justice League number 21, but I figured, why not? Brian Hitch is the artist on it. Daniel Henriquez and Scott Hanna are doing the inks. So maybe after the storyline, again, we'll see. Maybe if money starts getting tight again, I need to cut. This is going to be one I'm eventually going to probably drop. But it just, right now, they keep pulling me back in. Plus, if I take it out, you're not going to see it on the show. That's it for the regular DC books. Vertigo, I always talk about this book. and how great it is. And I highly recommend you read the trades and get caught up and read the, well, there's no reason to get caught up. They have lots of individual stories. Astro City number 44. This one has a cat. The story is called The Cat Who Can Walk Through Walls. And it focuses on a cat and a dog, heroes. And it's drawn by Rick Leonardi, who I love, and Kurt Busiek continues writing it, giving Brent Anderson a break on the art. But I love Rick Leonardi's artwork. But you got cats flying and dogs and working together, dogs and cats working together, mass hysteria type of stuff. Yeah, so gotta love it. Astro City, as I said, go to your local comic book store, and if they're having a big deal, like mine is having a deal of 50% off of trade paperbacks, get all the Astro City trade paperbacks you can, read them, and you will love them as much as I do. This book keeps calling me back also. Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye from Young Animal. It's number 8, written by Gerard Way and John Riviera with Michael Avon Oeming. Avon Oeming is the main reason why I keep getting this book, plus they are throwing it more into the DC universe, and it has a nice, interesting little quality to it. And Michael Avon Oeming's artwork, of course. Let's call a spade a spade. So that's it for DC. I got one Marvel book, and one only. Nick Fury number 2. I talked about number 1. It's written by James Robinson with art by Aiko, and inks by Hugo Petrus. He's trying very hard to do Steranko stuff, and that's why I want to keep buying it, because the Steranko Nick Fury stuff is really cool, and the fact that they're trying something different is fascinating to me. And as I said, Marvel, you're going to start seeing less and less Marvel because they are pissing me off right now. There's still going to be some Marvel books I'm going to get, and I think Nick Fury is going to be one of those I'm going to continue to get. So that's it for my Marvel. Now, as I said, these are just the books that I get, okay? There's a whole bunch of other books out there. That's why you need to go to your local comic book store. If you don't know where your local comic book store is, go to Comic Shop Locator Service, type in your zip code. It'll give you all the comic book shops within a 20-mile radius of your house. You find one you go into it, see if they have special offers, talk to the people who work there. They'll give you their opinions on things and their recommendations, and you should check it out. Real quick before I hit the independent books that I got, I just wanted to say I figured it would be pressing good that I'm wearing the same shirt I wore when I did this for the first time a year ago. I thought that was kind of classy because that's the way I am. So, shot of Zatanna. This book came out last week. I didn't buy it because it was $5. But then I saw they're going to be doing a bunch of these books, and they look really, really good. And I got these guys back here. So this is IDW's Ghostbusters Funko Universe. It's a one-shot written by Troy Dye with art by Philip Murphy. And it's the Ghostbusters story done as if they are Funko Pops. And it's such a great idea. I like how it looks. I didn't buy it because I was like, it's going to be too much money. I shouldn't buy it. It's a waste of money. But I had to because all these are coming out this month. Ghostbusters, X-Files, Strawberry Shortcake, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Judge Dredd. Look at Judge Dredd. He's so cute. So that was last week's book. The reason why I bought it was because this week's book was the X-Files Funko edition. So I had to get that. And I was looking into this, and it's fantastic. It's got 4 different stories in it, and they're written by different people. Written by Derek Fridolfs. The first story, To Believe or Not to Believe, is written by Derek Fridolfs with art by Pamela Lovas. You Are What You Eat is written by Mike Raked with art by Charles Paul Wilson III. Escape from Space Mountain is written by Matthew Dow Smith with art by Chris Fenoglio. And the last one is Sasquatch on the Set, written by Denton J. Tipton with art by Troy Little. So there's 4 stories in here. So I guess for $4.99 or for $5. And there's only 1 story here. So, and the Ghostbusters one. But the X-Files decided to do multiple stories. So you get different versions of it, but it's the same stuff. It's Funko Pops. X-Files taking on aliens and strange beings, stuff like that. And this one looks like it doesn't have any dialogue in it because, you know, they don't have mouths. And this one does because it's a different story. And then you got the Sasquatch one. So you got 4 different stories in this. So that's also worth the price of admission. And while you're here, may as well get the Ghostbusters one. And then whatever comes out the rest of May. I guess a bunch of them are going to be coming out because these are the only 2 that I've seen. I haven't seen any of the other ones yet. Maybe the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones is out also. I'll have to double check that at the comic book store. But they have the order in which they came out in? I don't think so. They just say May. So, oh well, I'll check it out and see what comes next week. And then that's it. I mean, next week is the last week in May, right? Hold on. No, we have 2 more weeks because we've got, yes, May 31st is Wednesday. So we have 5 Mays, 5 Wednesdays in May. So we got the 31st and we got next Wednesday. That's 2 weeks, but we have 3 books left. So either one's going to be doubled up or I missed one. It's possible I missed one. Wouldn't surprise me. Next up from Aftershock Studios, speaking of Marguerite Bennett, Animosity number 7, continuing the story of what if animals became sentient and took over the planet. Marguerite Bennett, Rafael de la Torre. We're getting to the next storyline. Looks like it's going to be the animals have now started to create religion. And Animosity is such a great story, and it's a good story. You should check it out totally. Also from Aftershock, we've got Egret, Eleanor and the Egret number 2. This is the return of Sam Keith into comic book artwork, and it's great to see him along with John Layman, who does the writing for it. I mean, Sam Keith has got a very distinct art style, and it's a very interesting and unique story. So again, proving once again what I've been showing with independent stuff, that comics are not just superheroes. It's other stuff as well. So it's good to see that. From Dark Horse, we've got American Gods number 3, continuing the adaptation of the American Gods story. The show on Starz is doing a phenomenal job. This is adapted by Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell with art by Scott Hampton. Walt Simonson has a mini story in this. This is Scott Hampton's stuff, and it's Neil Gaiman's adaptation of his book. So, and this is the Walt Simonson mini story in it. So you get a little bit of Walt Simonson artwork, which is good, and then you go back to the main story with Scott Hampton's artwork. I wish we'd see more P. Craig Russell artwork like we did in the first issue. Maybe we will down the line, but I miss his stuff. I like to see more of him like that. The Deep, number 5. This is the penultimate issue. This is a 6-issue miniseries. That's why I keep buying it. And it's fascinating. Boom Studios is a great studio. My former co-worker, Philip Sablik, is a big wig there at Boom Studios. And this is written by Tom Taylor with art by James Brower. It's about a family that investigates stuff underwater. So that alone is a good idea and a good series to check out. And it's only 6 issues. I've only got 1 more issue to go after this. So, and then that'll be gone. Red Sonja, number 5, written by Amy Chu with art by Carlos Gomez. I like this cover with the dragon, and Red Sonja's down there in the corner. We used to get a little bit of art by Marcio Fiorito. So we've got Red Sonja, who I like the storyline with Red Sonja being brought to modern times, and how she deals with this stuff, because she's got to deal with, you know, her old enemy, and just with her big bosoms and her chainmail outfit. It's hot. They're doing a Betty Page comic. Well, it's Terry Dodson cover. Joe Michael Lesnar. Huh. I don't know. I might have to check that out. Betty Page, the Queen of Cheesecake. And you get, you know, Red Sonja's cheesecake also. So fun stuff. Rose number 2. This one came out of nowhere. I'm liking the look of it. It's written by Meredith Finch, David Finch's wife, and art by Ig Guara. It's a fantasy story with a female lead, and yeah, artwork looks good. It's a female character, strong female character. It's fantasy. It's got all the proper stuff in there. I bought this mostly because of the creator, Francesco Francavilla. This is a book perfect for him. It's Spirit, the Corpse Makers, Chapter 3. Francesco's noirish artwork is perfect for Spirit storylines. So that's why I had to pick it up. This is, again, a mini series. It won't be lasting too much longer. But it's beautiful Francesco Francavilla artwork. In fact, you know what? I think he did the artwork for the shirt I'm getting for Twin Peaks for tomorrow. And last but not least, the only reason why I bought this is because it's the final issue of the miniseries, and I'm probably not going to buy it anymore if it comes back out against Animal Noir #4. I mean, the premise itself is a really neat idea. It's written by Izar Lunacek and Nejc Jurin with art by Izar Lunacek. It's a film noir, but with animals, excuse me. So, as I said, this is issue 4. This is the last issue. I probably won't buy it if it comes back out again. Nothing against it, but I need to cut down on it because that's all I got for comics. So I got it in within my 1-year window. Thank you, all of you who've watched for the whole year, and hopefully here's to another year coming up. Join me next week for a brand new episode of the Comic Call, and maybe we'll see some more of those Funko Universe books. I'll show you some previews, some stuff that's coming up. I talked about Mr. Miracles coming up in July. We've got those Looney Tunes books coming up in June, and we've got the Doomsday Clock coming up in November. So we've got all kinds of cool stuff in comics. Last word on this, go to Comic Shop Locator Service. Type in your zip code if you don't know where your comic book store is. Find a store you want to go to. Go into the comic book store. Look around. Find stuff. Read some Astro City. Pick up some of these comics, pick up other stuff. As I said, there's other comics out there that came out this week. I'm boycotting Secret Empire. Issue 2 came out this week. And there's a whole bunch of Marvels that came out this week. I have no desire really to read any Marvels. They don't interest me. Other DCs came out. More Independents came out. So these are just what I collect. There's a whole other world out there of comics for you. So go out there, find something you're going to like. There's family-oriented one. There's different styles. There's trades. There's toys. I got this at my comic book store. I got these guys, some of these guys at my local comic store. So all kinds of, and they all usually have sales on the weekends. So you might be able to save some money on that end. On that note, thank you for making my year fantastic here at the Comic Call. And look forward to another year and coming back again on May 19th, 2018 and talking more about comics then. That's on a Saturday, so I probably won't do that, but we'll see. Anyway, see you next week.